If you want to have a buffet for butterflies and bees in your backyard, that was a lot of bees, you need this plant. This plant is called catmint and it's under the genus of Nepeta. And it is a pollinator magnet and it is an excellent performer in the landscape and it really grows in, well, most of the United States. This plant will take the blazing hot sun down here in Texas. I also have friends that grow it further up north in the Midwest, and even some people that really like planting it in Canada. But every time I talk about this plant, I need to dispel a few myths about it and clarify some things. So first of all, this is not catnip. It's a different plant, although it is in the same family. Your cats, they may or may not be attracted to this plant. We have it mixed in with our other plants, and we don't notice our nursery cats, we have 6 of them, we don't notice that they are particularly drawn to this plant like they are other plants. Now this is also in the mint family. You'll notice that the stems are square, just like many members of the mint family, but it does not have the take over the world capabilities that a lot of your traditional mints have. Undoubtedly, I will have people in the comments that'll say, be careful with this plant because it takes over. Well, I haven't seen that to be true. Now, one of the reasons why mint, such as spearmint or your other types of mint, can be problematic in the garden is because they spread both on top of the ground and underground and end up really taking over entire areas of the garden. Catmint does not seem to do that. The plant will get big, but it really depends on which variety it is. This one here is Walker's Low, which is one of the more robust varieties. It can grow up to 24 inches tall and it spreads out about, well, 3 or 4 feet. There's actually 3 or 4 of these plants planted together in this mass, which is why it's, well, 7 feet across here. But like I mentioned, there are lots of different types of catmint. Some of them are more upright and narrow. Some of them are lower and are grown as more ground covers. You even have some variety in the colors of the blooms. These new and improved varieties of catmint should not give you any issues with self-seeding or seeding out and taking over areas. I think they're actually pretty well behaved in the garden as long as you give them the appropriate footprint. That butterfly almost hit me in the face. Now these plants may start off somewhat small and scrawny in the nursery pots, but they will quickly grow in the 2nd and 3rd year is when they really start taking off. And this is a plant that is very, very durable in almost any type of weather condition. And as I mentioned before, you will see pollinators just all over it all the time, even though it is not a native to the US plant. The pollinators still really love it and will take advantage of all that good nectar that it has inside. Now, after this plant is done with this first big round of flowers, I actually recommend cutting it back. Don't cut it back all the way to the ground. Just find these stems wherever the flowers have developed and cut it back about, 8 to 10 inches, and that will reinvigorate this plant and allow it to put on a new set of blooms, usually for summer or going into fall. But it's definitely a plant worth mixing into your perennial garden.